Hello and welcome to the daily staff placement schedule demo video. What this is a spreadsheet that allows you to assign staff to particular projects or particular client on a day-by-day basis. You may need this I know there are a few recruitment agencies out there. This is who it was initially intended for, who are basically supplying casual labor. So someone will phone up and say, I need someone for 3 days, I need someone for 2 days. They've got a list of personnel and a list of businesses. It could also be for a business who maybe is placing consultants. Maybe a client will phone you up and say, I need someone to come in tomorrow, and you need to assign someone to go to see that person tomorrow. And you want to keep an overview of where all your staff is at one point. This is the overview page where it shows you your different days and who's gone to which one. So in other words, on this date, business 5, you can send up to 20 people to a particular venue. So it's got the space for 20 people to go to each venue. I'll show you how it works. It's a fairly straightforward process to do a fairly straightforward thing. It's actually quite a complicated process. If you have a look at the size of the file, it's over 2 megabytes in size, which is quite large for one of these spreadsheets. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the background. So let me show you how it works. This is a schedule page, which we'll come back to in a minute. What you want to start off with is your business database and your personnel database. Your business database, basically static. When you put a new client on, you put the business name on, make sure you don't have any duplicates, so make sure you can differentiate between your business names. You can put the first contact person. This is the information that will be used on the PDF, as you can see here. I'll explain what that means. You'll see what that means later on. There's basically a PDF page that you can print out to give to your staff to show them where they need to be each day, and these are the contact details that will appear on that. So you've got your first name, phone number, mobile, email, address of the business. Then you can select it. You can put in a type if you want to categorize them instead of a few notes. And then you've got the second contact person. These won't appear on any sheets on this spreadsheet, but it's just really for your records if you've got a second person to contact. Then you've got your personnel. Forget the grey bit for now. This section here, I'll come to that in a minute. You'll see what I mean by that. Here we've got the name. You can put in a profession if you want to. Maybe they've got a particular skill or something, and some notes. And then you've got their contact number, mobile, email, NI number, date of birth, and the bank account. Now again, these might not be used throughout the spreadsheet, but it's just for your records. So you've got your personnel, the database of your personnel, and you've got your database of your business. The idea now is what you want to do is you want to be able to sit down and schedule. So you want to be able to go, okay, what jobs do I need to do on Monday? Where do I need to be on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Or where do I need to send staff? And then assign someone to those particular placements. That's what you want to do. So how do we do that? Well, there's a few things. First of all, let's go to the settings page, because the settings page is where we set up the period, the start of this period. Now, the spreadsheet will cover a 4-week period. And then what you want to do is you want to clear the day, some of the data off to do another 4-week period. The reason why I did this was because if you obviously, you can imagine if you're collecting data all the time, and the spreadsheet's already quite large, and it's trying to do all these formulas, you're going to have to just make it so much bigger in order to accommodate a year's worth of placement. So we work them in 4-week periods. I'll show you how to clear it at the end and all this. It's fairly straightforward. So if you put in the start date of the 4-week period, obviously if you go from Monday to Sunday, you put in the start date. That will then give you the period, the range of the period that you're dealing with. Order to display, this is the default order. I'll come to that in a minute, what that means. But it's really what you want to set up to start off with is the start date of the 4-week period. That start date will then determine the dates that are set over here. Now this is the availability, so you want to put a tick in any of the boxes. So in other words, Craig, Samantha, Andrew, these are the staff. Craig, on the 24th of May, is he available to work? Yes, he is. No, he's not. So what you can do is if someone's not available to work on a particular day, make sure that's blank. And if someone is available to work, you select the drop down, so you can either select blank or you can select tick. Blank means they're not available to work. Tick means that they are available to work. So if everyone's available to work every day, you can stick that, and you'll see the bank holidays and weekends will change color accordingly. When you put the dates in, it'll recognize those dates and it'll change color accordingly and lay it out in your 4-week schedule. Then all it does is it comes to a data input page. Now, the data input page, you can come here. The gray section is information that in theory you could collect. The reason why this is in gray is because this section you may want to collect on your website. I've had some clients who say to me what they want to do is they want to collect the data on their website, so they make a contact form asking their clients to fill in, saying the date, the business name, what time do they want to start and end for the day, if they want someone to come in for the day, are there any notes, and how many people do they need. So in theory, this is something you could set up on your website as a contact form. So you may have this data already or captured nicely into a database on your website. If that's the case, I've put this here so that A, you can set up your contact form the same way, but B, you can just paste that data straight in there. Just remember to use paste values if you're copying and pasting from another spreadsheet. Paste values into here. Then what that will do is essentially your business name. Then if you've typed in names here, then what you do is any of those businesses that it doesn't recognize from your database will turn up yellow. So if, for example, they don't type business 2, they type business, let's just say like that. So if they type that in, and now you were to come and say, you were to copy this data to paste it across, because if you see here, what you want to do is you want to copy and paste the date and the business. So if you take this data here and you copy and paste it across, so you say copy and you paste business 2 across, it'll turn yellow because it says I don't recognize that name. And then what you do is you just go actually what they meant that, because obviously it's looking for the exact name of the business. So if you do get your data and you copy and paste it into here, then all you do is you copy and paste the date and the business across there, and then reselect your business names to make sure that it's matching the name you've got in the database. If you're not collecting this data from your website, that's fine. Then just ignore those first 2 columns because you've got the date and business there. Fill in the red ones, the date, the business, but also fill in this gray section. So below the red header here, what time does it start? What time does the end? So if a client phones you up and you don't put in the website, you can just say what time do you want to start, what time do you want to end, notes, and how many people do you need. Then you got and the date as well, obviously, and you select the business name. So once you've got the information in from the start to the business, whether you've typed it in or whether you've pasted all that data in and copied that across here and reselected your business names, once you've completed the data up to this line here, you'll see these cells here, that one's turned yellow. If I were to remove those, they will turn yellow to show you how many people are needed. So there it says 3 people are needed, so the first 3 spaces will turn yellow and so on and so forth. This one says there are 5 people needed. I've already selected 3, which means there's 2 more. And as I go here, it'll give me a list of all of my staff, and I can go through and select. Now, if I've selected Sophie and I select Sophie again, it goes red to say I've selected Sophie twice. But if I go here and select someone like Samantha, it'll say fine. Let's see who's left to select. Someone like Mark. Now, this is on the 24th of May. Let's just say on the 24th of May, Mark was not available. When you come here to your data input and you select, you'll see Mark's no longer on the list. So they won't appear on the list if you've ticked them off as being unavailable. So that's the purpose behind the unavailability. If someone's not available on certain days, you can tick them off. If you double select them for the same day, they will flag up. If you put the same business down for the same day, it will flag up as having 2 entries for the same thing. So we obviously know who we can and can't pick now. So let's go and pick Lisa for that one. That's fine. Now we've basically got everyone in the placements that they need to be, because there's no more yellow in order to select. So once you've got that all updated, there's no more red to show that we've got duplicates or anything like that. So that's all good. We've got our personnel list, which means that now we've done all the placements for that. If we go to the schedule, we can see exactly what's happening, who's on which day for which company. There are the business names down the left-hand side. The business names are automatically sorted into priority as far as the place, how many people are placing there, who's the busiest kind of client, as it were, would go to the top of the list. If you want to reorder the businesses here, that's where what you do in your settings. You can select. If you remove the businesses here and you go to your custom order, it'll show you the businesses you've got on this list that aren't on this one, and you can select them in whatever order you want, and that would then be your custom order. And then if you come here and say, no, I want to show them in custom order, when you go back to your schedule, see business 1, 2, 3. So now it's showing in the order that you've asked it to appear. So you can either have it in custom or you can have it in default, and it shows you here what the default order would be should you select default. The last thing is, so we're just going to have a quick recap before we get into that personal weekly report. You got your business database that you can leave as it is, update as you get new clients, put the business data on there. You can use the columns to sort. Personnel data, leave the red bit, update as the information updates. This will change every 4 weeks. I'll show you how to change that. As you can see as well here, here's a count. So it shows how many times that person has been selected during the 4-week period. So you can see if anyone needs to be selected more often or less often, or whatever the case might be. And you've got obviously your data input where you select all of the placements. Last but not least, now once you've selected the placements, now you want to tell, for example, Craig where he needs to be every week, and you want to give him a bit of a report. So if you come to your personal weekly report, you select week number 1. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously, those depend on your 4-week period. So if you select week number 1, and then you say, well, actually, I'd like to see where Craig needs to be. As you can see, it populates that with Craig's information. So it says where Craig needs to be on the Monday and where he needs to be on the Friday, and he's got nothing else on the other days. If you then come here and say, actually, I'd like to see where Lisa goes, it shows that. So it gets a business address, what the notes were, starting in time, who the contact person is there, what their number is, all the rest of it. So you've got that as a report that you can then save as a PDF, send to your staff. If you say view and page break preview, you'll see that I've set it up. This will actually print on 2 pages. So what you can do in this situation is actually grab that border, move it across to there, which means that this part here won't print. So it's all nicely on 1 page. You can drag your borders to match, because this will all depend on your printer. So you might need to redo that again. If you say view normal, now this will print nicely on 1 page. If you save as a PDF, it'll save nicely, and you can send someone their schedule for that week, and you can select someone else and save as a PDF. So you've got your business database, your personal database, your data input where you select who needs to go where, and you basically generate a need for your staff, and then you've got your personal weekly report, and obviously your schedule. Your schedule, you can see these are 20. I'm actually shooting this video on the 7th of June. So I've put the date in to show back, because those are the dates I used. If you leave this blank, it'll show today's date, but there's obviously nothing due. You scroll across, you'll see it's a Friday, so that's automatically highlighted. But that's why I put in the date, because I wanted to lock it on the period. So you can look back to see who did work a week ago. You can look forward to see who's due to work next week. You can put the date in that you want to see, and you'll be able to see accordingly. There are 20 there. You've got 50 businesses, and I think only 25 or something that can fit onto the first page. So if you want to, if you scroll down and you get to the end, and you go, hang on, I've got more clients I'd like to see. All you do then is you come up here and you go to page 2, and this will go blank because I don't have a page 2, but the rest of the clients will then appear on page 2. Just remember to go back up to page 1 again. Any warnings that appear on here, for example, that you've double selected someone or something, if you come to the schedule, those same warnings will show at the top here. The fact that there's a green tick means that there's nothing untoward going on. Now, you get to the end of your 4-week period, you want to restart. Now what do you do? Well, it's fairly straightforward. Your business database stays as it is, because I'm hoping you're going to be keeping the same clients. If you need to clear any clients off, all you do is you go along, you select that row like that, and you say right-click, clear contents, and then you can resort by business name. That would get rid of any businesses, and you can free up some space. Same applies to your personnel. But what you do then is, now what you do is, because you've got the 4-week period that ends on the 16th of June, now what you'll do is you'll come in and you'll put in the 17th of June for the next 4-week period. You come to your data input. Obviously, those will all turn red because that's all before the first period. You can highlight what you've got, right-click, clear contents, and it's clear, ready for the next week. Now, what you could do before you do this is save it as a file and keep that file. If you do save as, you can keep that as like a kind of archive file with the data in it if you need to go back to it, by all means. But just instead of starting a new spreadsheet, it makes sense to keep the one you've got, because you've got your databases on here. So if you just clear the contents of what you've done there, reset this one, you can clear and ready for the next one. So what you do is you put in the new date of the new period, you clear off what you had here, and the only other thing left to do is just come to your personnel and just check the availability, because obviously these weeks have now all changed. So if someone's usually available Monday to Friday, you can leave the ticks in there because it's Monday to Friday is like a default thing. But now obviously we've marked that he wasn't there that one Friday, but he might be there on the Friday the 21st of June. So just come and double check that the availability that you set for each staff is in fact correct for the next 4-week period. And as you can see, everything's reset back to 0 and it's all ready for the next period, and you can carry on for the next 4-week period. So every 4 weeks you just clear it as I've just shown you and move on. So it's fairly straightforward. You can keep everything in one spreadsheet. You'll keep your databases intact and add to them obviously as you go along. And I think that is all that I need to show you for the spreadsheet. So if you've watched this and you're looking and you go, that's actually what I want, but it doesn't quite do what I want, or the display is not quite right, or you want something bespoke, please get hold of me, because obviously I'm quite happy to discuss making you one specifically for your requirements. This is a general overview of what I think others would want. If you need something specific, do get in touch. But otherwise, if this is helpful to you to help you start track and monitor where people are and do staff placements on a daily basis, I wish you all the best with your business. And yeah, good luck with that. One last thing before I do anything, just remember, please have a look on the settings tab, how to keep your spreadsheet working. Do take a look at that link. It'll show you the difference between copy and paste values and things like that, and how to clear contents and not delete contents and not moving anything around, just to make sure that you keep your spreadsheet in working order. But that's it. I wish you all the best, and good day.